Welcome back to the Film on TV channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. We have a bit of a lighter, lab's been reviewing a horror film. This is totally the other edge of the rainbow, if you like, or the other end of the rainbow. We're going to go for a comedy today that's on Netflix. And it's something entitled Man versus Bee. Yes, so 9 episodes, but don't worry about it because they're only 10 to 15 minutes long. I don't understand. There must be some logic in that. If you look at the old days where they had used in the old days, I'm showing my age now, when you used to have like a 5 or 10 minute section before the news of an evening, and you used to get all the cartoons and the slapstick cartoons and stuff, and it's sort of that sort of timing and that sort of quality. Well, not quality. What's the word? Not quality, but style of comedy. This is what you get. I mean, when I tell you who's in it, you'll know what I mean. It'll all become clear. Say this is on Netflix, a British comedy based on is it based on Mr. Bean? I don't know. I think it is based on Mr. Bean because it stars Rowan Atkinson. Of course, it's written and created by Rowan Atkinson and William Davis, directed by David Kerr. So he's a Mr. Bean character who's found his voice, because he's an absolute idiot, let's be honest about it. And the scores as at the 24th of June 2022, well, they're very skewed, this. I mean, it's getting 9.1 out of 10. That's only based on 58 reviews, but it's very skewed because 39 of that 58, I give it 10 out of 10. So I'm sorry, it's not a 10 out of 10. But obviously Rowan Atkinson fans or old Mr. Bean fans who think Rowan Atkinson's grown up and aged a little bit. But yeah, there is one 1 out of 10 mark as well. But obviously the 39 times 10 just skew it. If you take away those two, which is 40 reviews out of the 58, you're left with 17 people scored it between 6 and 9. So yeah, it is liked, and just one person scored it 5. So that's it. So that's and there's actually some written reviews, which I'll tell you about in a minute. There's sort of headline comments that were made, not all positive. So this stars, of course, Rowan Atkinson as Trevor. He's a house sitter. Yes, I mean, how the hell would you let this guy in your house to look after it? I do not know. The signs are there, but these people want a holiday, so that's how it is. I wonder if that's a job. Is it a job, an house sitter? I say sounds good to me. I could deal with that. The pay's all right. Jean Lucy is Nina, the owner of this luxurious city. It's not a house. It is a mini mansion, if you like. Very modern, but mini mansion. Claude Blakely is the Trevor's ex-wife, so he's Rowan Atkinson's character's ex-wife, Claudie Blakely. Tom Basden is a police officer. Julian Rantoot is Christian, Nina's husband and the owner of the house, and with his fancy E-type Jaguar and various things, and his what is it? A 2 million, something worth 2 million. I don't know. I think the E-type Jaguar supposedly worth 2 million, but it has all these paintings and artwork that's supposed to be worth a lot of money as well. So yeah, would you trust Mr. Bean to look after a place like that? Probably not. We've got Greg McHugh as the gardener, very minor part, and India Fowler as Maddie, who plays Mr. Bean's daughter. Let's call him Mr. Bean just for the sake of it. It premiered on Netflix on the 24th of June, as all the scores are at that date, 24th of June 2022. And it's about, well, you've got the gist, a house sitter named Trevor who finds himself entrenched in an ongoing battle. Yes, he lets a bee in, the silly fool. I mean, just let it back out. It would have gone out eventually, mate. You didn't have to go. It cause all this chaos while in the midst, of course, of looking after this elegant mansion. There's a dog involved as well, which doesn't help. So some of the comments, I did say I'd mentioned the comments on Internet Movie Database. Some positive, some not so positive. These are just like the headline comments. Man versus Bee, a fine comedy outing, said someone. Rowan doing what he does best. Yep, can't disagree with that one. Funny, but not as I expected. Yeah, I'm not sure what they expected from Rowan Atkinson in this sort of thing. Funny, well written, and just very entertaining. Yeah, it had its moments. Bean lives on. Well, sort of, they said. The high picture quality makes it a joy to watch, even though it at times can be almost painfully predictable. Yeah, it's a bit. We've been there all before. We've seen it all before. Not as good as some people want to make you believe it is, said somebody else. An anxiety-inducing nonsense, says someone else. So, yeah, not all positives. So there are negatives, right? As far as I'm concerned, I was a big Mr. Bean fan. Am I still a big Mr. Bean fan? I don't know. I've not watched it for a long time. It's one of those things that quite unique when it starts off. But after a while, it gets a bit silly. And this is just in that format, in all fairness. This is an updated attempt at that sort of humour in a sort of modern day. If you think I was talking cartoons before, wasn't I? He's that Looney Tunes cartoons, Coyote, Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, etc. That sort of style, and that's what we get with this. I think Mr. Bean fans will like it. I think if you like Rowan Atkinson, you'll like it. I think there's no doubt about that. And you just need to totally switch your brain off to watch it, because it's just so, as I said, some of it's a bit predictable. But the 9 episodes flew past. As I said, it probably equates to about 70 minutes, 75 minutes. They do vary. They're not spot on a time either. I mean, you might get an 8-minute episode followed by a 13-minute episode, which is a bit odd. And the way it's done, it could have just been a continuous thing. But they probably think people don't want too much all at once. So I don't blame them for thinking that. I think comedy's moved on a little bit from the days of Mr. Bean, even though I do like that sort of daft comedy, of course I do. But it did make me smile occasionally. Did I laugh out loud? Probably not. I think there's one thing I laughed out loud at. I don't know what that was. But even kids, even the younger kids, probably get a little bit weary with this after a while. It's something perhaps watch. Don't you binge watch it and get it all out of the way? It's probably a good thing. But if you just watch one every few days, it might be okay. But then again, it probably wouldn't be enough. So I'd say 75 minutes, not that long, but at times it did feel a little bit long, unfortunately. A nice, stupid, a nice, silly way to pass the time, and a heart back to simpler comedy times. In all fairness, I mean, obviously there's a lot of this style of comedy made a bit more edgier these days, but this is just a simple, in a Looney Tunes throwaway sort of way. And it is. I think they did turn Mr. Bean into an animation, didn't they? And this could have worked better as an animation. Actually, you just had that feel to it that it should have been an animation. And some of the stunts and some of the things were quite funny and done very well in live action. But it just seems it may have worked better as an animation. Anyway, I'm gonna be kind. I mean, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. My watchable rating. I'm being kind because I have fond memories of Mr. Bean. I've got fond memories of Rowan Atkinson in a lot of stuff he's done. Going back to the Blackadder's, etc. So I will be kind and give it a 6 out of 10. It didn't blow me away, but as I said, it was just a nice, easy watch for 75 minutes and quite funny. And a nice house as well. It's nice to look at it in a nice house. And one day, who knows? But it's getting a bit late. I'm getting a bit long in the tooth to get a nice house like that now. But there you go. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, as I said, it is harking back to an easier time, a simpler time. I think we're all hard worn now, aren't we, after COVID, etc. I think we're all worn down by life and perhaps need something a little bit different, but it is what it is. Good fun. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please, until we meet again, stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.